Hello and welcome back to the Pride Pod here on Loud and Proud Orlando. I am your host, John Rollins, here with my co host and friend, Luis Carlos Pineda, to talk everything Orlando Pride. Join us in the comments if you're here live. We'd love to hear from you and get your thoughts on all the news we're going to be talking about today. We've got a packed show for you. We have got 5 players that have been put out on loan. Martinez, Mart, Asman, and Allen. We're also going to talk about the summer break presented by Orlando Pride that was just announced today, and then talk a little bit about the international Pride players over this summer window. We've got U.S. Women's National Team, England, Zambia, and Brazil, all with players being represented from Orlando Pride. So, a packed show. We thought we were going to have a light summer with not much news, but each week we're kept on our toes by lots of new news coming out from Orlando Pride on roster moves and otherwise. Luis, how are you, buddy? How was your 4th of July weekend?
Well, it was great. Happy Fourth to everybody that's watching as well, and to you, John. Well, excited. Super happy that the Orlando Pride is been able to release some cap space. I think they're onto something pretty important when it comes to signings. Hopefully, to boost the team a little bit more for what's next in the season. And also, I love the fact that they are helping a up and coming league like the U.S. Super League, which is dear to my heart because we're still when we cover the Tampa Bay Sun, they just won the championship there in their inaugural season, so it's pretty good. It's a league that's growing and that has a lot of players that might have not had a lot of bright in the NWSL, but they're definitely getting the chances to shine and to play professionally in the USL level. So a lot of good talent going to the USL Super League for next season. So excited for that, and also the Emily Sam's killing it with the national team still. Marta, also playing some Copa America, so that's gonna be great. So excited for this episode.
Yes, indeed. Let's dive right in and talk about these loans that were all announced over a couple days last week. They were kind of grouped into 2 press releases, one with 3 players in, and another with just the 2 players in. Um, the 3 that were announced that were going out on loan. First of all, it was Kat Asman, who you probably don't remember much or haven't seen. Kat Asman, she was signed at the beginning of the season from Portland, um, a, a backup goalkeeper. She has been sent up on loan to Lexington FC. Um, is that correct? Yes, that's correct. Luis,
Yeah,
right?
Lexington
Lexington
FC.
FC for her. So a team that Amanda Allen was just at uh, not too long ago in the USL Super League. So I think that's a great move. If she's going to play all the time, then that's good. We want her to get consistent playing time. I think there was a lot of hope around her coming from Portland, like she was a goalkeeper with potential, but obviously not having played any minutes. So that's great. Also, in the same press release, Larroquette has come back and gone to Lexington. So a player that was already on loan down in the Eagles, old boys for Manil, and you said Luis just won, right? Um,
Yeah, she won the best player of the league and also the one of the top goal scorers and won 2 championships back to back with Newell's.
so off the back of that, I think with it only being 6 months, Luis, it was always kind of gonna be a case of either she's coming back here for the rest of the season or she's gonna be loaned out somewhere else. And this one, kind of a quick turnaround. I saw a photo with her and Haley as she stopped in to say hi to everybody, and then headed off to Lexington for the second half of the season. And I think for Laro, like she's going to be able to score quite a few goals in the USL Super League, right? Surely that's a level she can still dominate in.
Yeah, so to give a little background on Lexington, Lexington ended up last on the there's only 8
Yeah,
teams.
they need some
Yeah.
help then.
So they definitely needed some help. Their goalkeeper to me was not one of the best ones. So Asman's definitely gonna have not a lot of big shoes to fill there. I mean, she's a talented player. Larroquette is definitely going to be a breath of fresh air in the attack. I think her her experience, and she's going to be fit. A lot of the pitches that these teams in the USL Super League are playing is turf. I do want to say some of them playing like high schools and smaller venues, but not a lot of natural grass. But I think for the level, she's coming from scoring a lot of goals in Argentina. She's coming with something to prove, and I think she's going to have the minutes, and that's the most important thing for her. And not only that, she still remains, with status, with the immigration status, and also with just staying within the team. So all of that is protected for her because I'm sure she wants to stay and live here. I'm sure,
Yeah.
at some point, and so it is a win-win for her. She's getting minutes, and it's a brand new league, so her leadership is probably going to be good. Now, obviously, there's not a lot of Argentinians in Lexington, but certainly this is something that she's gonna definitely make an immediate impact.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like they managed to score a lot of goals, and they had a -33 goal difference in their first season, Lexington, so I
So
feel like
I was able to watch Amanda Allen in Lexington, and
Mhm.
she was their top player in the attack. Like for the Pride, she was more of like an up and coming player. She moved the attack in that team. When she got injured, she had a really bad injury, a really bad injury. They lost that edge that they had with Allen, and they pretty much lost every single game after that. So it's been really tough for her. But again, they're investing. They want to get better players because they want to get out of the last positions of the standings.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the benefits of loans for us to, having players get minutes. But for really, if you're USL Super League side Lexington, you're probably licking your lips at the idea of Larroquette coming in and what she can do, being one of the better players potentially in that league and getting minutes. And I think it's great for her. Like I don't think any of these loanies are going out. We're getting a lot of time. So I think I'm all for giving them minutes. And if you're going to develop players, they're not going to develop nearly as well sitting on your bench for 3 years than they are if they go out and constantly play and become key parts of other clubs, of other teams, and, able to actually learn and grow getting minutes on the field. So that's always a positive, in my opinion. And two great loan moves there. The other one that was part of this press release as well is Aryssa Mahrt, midfielder, someone again that we signed in the preseason. Haven't really seen a lot of, but this, young with a lot of potential. Aryssa has been loaned to Spokane Zephyr. Spokane, they came in fifth, so a bit better than Lexington. Luis, you got any insights? Did you watch Spokane play Tampa Bay this year?
Yeah, she's coming to be a starter. They So you have to understand the way the USL sees the NWSL is, even though they're the same kind of D1, they know that it's better quality players.
Yeah, I mean, there's
And
no Barbara
so
Bandas in USL Super.
majority of the players that Orlando's loaning, they're going to be starters. And so here comes a player that killed it in Wisconsin, playing for the Badgers, Mart, that didn't have really a lot of minutes with the Pride, but I think with the Spokane, she's going to be quite a good player for them. One thing about Spokane is their ownership group. I don't know if you remember Osvaldo Alonso, former Sounders player.
Who could
Former,
not? Legend of the game.
yeah. So Ozzy Alonso is one of the owners of Spokane Women. So they have really good ownership. They're from Seattle, Washington. So they're big soccer town. They also own the Spokane Velocity of the USL League One for the men, and they have a really nice training facility and stuff. So they're a really good team. They're just trying to, you know, go over that threshold. And I think she's going to help. They get a lot of the players from Europe, especially in the attacking third. So I think with Mart coming in, a champion, somebody that is looking for minutes, it's a perfect opportunity, going to Spokane. Especially it's really beautiful there. So Washington and all of that. So
Yeah, I think she's gonna enjoy it up there, and someone that she's gonna be playing alongside Luis, Thais Reese, former Orlando Pride
yeah,
Brazilian midfielder, is also at Spokane Zephyr. So,
yeah,
little Orlando Pride. I always like to see, who is in USL Super League, who's ended up there from their time with us. I know we've got plenty of players that are playing in the Tampa Bay Sun and other places. So excited for Marissa. I think it's going to be a good chance for her.
yeah. And then we have also Brie Martinez going to one of the top teams in the USL Super League, which is Carolina Accent. Um, she's she's gonna kill it there. I mean, she's definitely gonna be a starter. You know, they were beat by the Tampa Bay Sun. They won the Shield there though. The Accent were the ones who won the regular season, but the Sun won the cup. So um, good team. I think she's gonna be having a lot of minutes. And I think she's going to be one of the top players in the league, in my opinion. If you ask me about it, the way she played with the Pride, it gives me that she's going to be one of the top signings for sure. Now, I don't know if her ambition is staying in that league, but I think she's going to kill it. I think she's going to kill it, and it's going to benefit the Pride because eventually she could be recalled from loan whenever they need it.
Yeah, as you said, a very good team that she's joining, and Carolina since the Shield winners, as it were. Best over the regular season, they produced the most wins, a plus 21 goal difference. So a
Yeah.
team that clearly can defend already. But I think, like you said, Luis, when you bring in someone at the quality of Brie Martinez, in another scenario where we didn't have all of the good right backs we do have, I would happily start Brie Martinez for Orlando Pride most weeks against any opponent, really, and be very comfortable with her and her team. I think she had some really good moments last year. The beginning of the last year, she was, we thought, going to be our new right back, and then injury happens, and Corey Dyke gets a chance, and we get other signings in like Oyane, and things change. But that doesn't mean Brie Martinez is still not a very good prospect at right back. I think already a base level NWSL player, definitely a top level USL Super League player. I would think so. Slot her into a team that's already functioning as a aggressive attacking right back. I think she might even play left back. We don't know where they're going to put her, Luis. Right? She's very she can play center back. She's talented across that back line. So I think I'm very excited for Bree to go and get some real minutes. And I think it's well deserved. And of all the players I would be concerned about not getting minutes right now, she's the top of the list as she has, good potential and just needs time where she's able to play 90 week in, week out.
Unfortunately, it tells you that all eggs are in Ohina's basket, and they feel like Ohina, because she's a signing that came from Europe, they're going to give her more of a chance to stand out this season for the Pride. I still feel like Bree has tons of talent and she's going to kill it in the Super League. I think with that move, the Pride officially made Carolina to me at least, a top contender again because it is a massive move. I mean, you're talking about a player that was really important for the double, a player that was really important for the double. Just, it's so it's like Julie Doyle going there. You know what I mean? So, um, and again, some of the players in the Pride, they're familiar with the Super League. I've seen some in a couple of games. You know who you are. You know what I mean? But you know, I've seen them, checking out players from college and friends from college that are playing the Super League and things like that. So it's an up and coming league. It's what I love the fact is that the Pride is supporting other women's sports, other teams, I wish we would have seen somebody going to the Sun. It would have been cool. Honestly, I would have loved Bree to come to Tampa, but it is what it is.
Imagine if they'd like, because this happens a lot in other places where you have that local team that you play for, so you don't even like move house or whatever. You just drive, right?
Yeah,
Like you could have had a Orlando Pride player just stay in Orlando and just drive every day to
yeah,
Tampa. Like
that's
it
right.
happens in other places. But hey, I think Louise, it would have been a nice thing, but also, maybe it's good for these players to go a little bit further out, get a bit more, sort of
Or
what's
maybe
it
it was a
like
better deal for the
to go off
Pride
on
too.
their own.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
you don't know. We don't know the relationships that are there and what needs there are for the squad, et cetera, et cetera. I feel like Tampa Bay are pretty good at building their own squad. They don't
Yeah.
necessarily a club that needs loans, whereas like Lexington seemed like a club that probably really, these loans are going to
Next
be
time
big
I'm
impact.
gonna next time I'm gonna talk to the coach. Be like, hey, come on, coach. You can make some calls, coach.
Make some calls.
Make some calls.
Um, yeah. Uh, of all said, we're saying, why on earth would you wish an Orlando Tampa commute on anyone? I would not, but players do it, right? Right? Like, I mean, the OCB games we used to play out in Melbourne. We had the whole staff, everybody used to commute out there, an hour and a half every
Imagine
every Saturday
the
just to play an OCB game.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the Magic players do that too, going to Lakeland for the G League. Or no, I think they're playing Osceola now. They used to play in Lakeland before.
Yeah.
But honestly, I just think it would be cool, just to make a bridge. But either way, I think that the front office is going to do what's best for the clubs too. So maybe there was no interest from the Sun to get any player loaned or anything like that. So again,
We have no idea, yeah.
I think they did the right thing. I think Carolina's a really good team, and I think she's going to get a lot of minutes, and she's going to put a lot of quality players. They were one of the best teams last year for sure.
The final loanee that was, made out was Amanda Allen, a
Yep.
player that we talked about had already been loaned before to Lexington last year and had that injury, had to come back, has been working her way back from that, and has now managed to get a loan to the Northern Super League, of Canada, I believe, right? Am I saying that correct? Is it called the Northern Super League? It is, yes, the Northern
Yeah,
Super
it's in
League.
Halifax.
And she is going to be playing for the Halifax Tides, which are, as you can see here,
Yeah,
this is, by
they're
the way, is the first ever year of the Canadian Northern Super League. Top of the league, AFC Toronto. Bottom of the league, Halifax Tides FC, with only one win out of 8 games played so
yeah,
far and 4 points. So Amanda Allen, I assume, is going to come in and
kill it.
immediately be a starter and someone that can hopefully make an impact to a team in their first season that's really struggling.
I like the name Montreal Roses. That sounds better than CF
Yeah,
Montreal.
I'm ashamed to say I didn't know this league existed until this press release came out, which I've got a lot of
Really?
things I got to keep my eye on in soccer. The formation of the Canadian, I remember seeing a press release about it, but I hadn't even realized they kicked off. So I was like, "Whoa, the Halifax Tides are in this league that's playing." And it's
They
10
have
games in, so if you want
Calgary
to join in
Wild.
with a new league and a new team, pick a Canadian Northern Super League team. Why not?
I'll be honest with you. It would have been cool to have Calgary, wild. I don't know wild, but it should have been pink and red, like Brett the Hitman Hart
I
is
like a
from
lot of these
Calgary.
names. They're pretty good. Apart from AFC Toronto, I approve of all of these names.
What is
Um,
AFC? Association of Football Club?
Athletic Football Club, Toronto. Montreal Roses FC. If I'm living in Montreal, I think I'm more likely to go watch
Yeah,
that than I am
exactly.
Montreal right now, the MLS team, because they are so boring. Whereas a brand new team called Montreal Roses FC in women's soccer, I'm in. I'm
Yeah,
there.
and then you have to parlez-vous français. You gotta be like, oui,
Yeah.
oui,
Uh, Halifax Tides. That's Halifax, Nova Scotia?
Nova Scotia.
Oh my. Amanda, I hope you brought several coats and a lot of layers of clothing because you're
Bear.
going you're going to the extreme north.
You're going to where we're gonna see a couple of Svens and maybe Elsa and Anna are gonna be there for you waiting.
For real, like it's that's way up there. So exciting for her. Here's the press release on their website,
Yeah, they're
uh,
excited. They're
talking about
excited.
talking about Amanda. Here she is, brand new forward. Um, so yeah, I mean she is Canadian, so it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. How do you pronounce that?
She's from
Mississauga.
Mississauga, I think,
Yeah,
Ontario.
Ontario.
So I guess for her, not too far away from where she's
Yeah,
from.
yeah. Of all sad words says, why on earth would you wish an Orlando Tampa commute on anyone? I'd do it.
And Luis does it how many times a week? I mean,
I've
usually at
been
least
doing it
once.
all home games for Pride in Orlando. I've been doing it,
Yeah. I mean, I don't wish it
and
on anybody.
and you know, it's for the last 4 seasons. Well, it's gonna be 5 seasons already, so it's okay. Yeah, I got used to it. Well, actually, it would be 4 seasons because the first season I was in Orlando, but
Yeah.
yeah, good for the Tides, Halifax Tides. It's gonna be
Yeah.
fun.
That's awesome. So those are our five players that have all been loaned out um, across, USL Super League and Amanda into the Canadian Northern Super League. So I feel like this is all positive. Like we said, a lot of good things coming from this. And I also think, Louise, it's lining up something happening this transfer window. I think Haley obviously is listening to the players that want to get minutes and moving them away and giving them opportunities on loan. But also that's freeing up wage budget right now, so I don't know if that's part of the plan here. This is a lot of speculation, but it kind of smells to me like something's happening. Don't you think?
Yeah, I think they're freeing up. They're freeing up space. I feel so.
I mean,
Yeah,
what I mean, we would assume maybe a winger or a striker or attacking player of some kind, but we have no idea. I just feel like something is being cooked up. Chef Haley's in the kitchen.
yeah, I agree. I agree. No, I do want to, before we go to the next topic, I do wanted to say something real quick. I want to give a shout out to, how the Pride, Pride Academy, they started doing this partnership with the ECNL.
Yep.
So Delilah Burns, she's a goalkeeper. Um, she is a fan of our show. She's a fan of Loud and Proud, of both the actual both podcasts, from my understanding. We want to give a shout out to her. She was selected to attend the Orlando Pride Talent ID in 2 days. So she's going to be grateful for the opportunity. It says, can't wait to learn, compete, and grow alongside some amazing talent. Thank you to everyone who supported me on this journey. So that means that, she's a pretty good goalkeeper. If there is, she's gonna get that tryout with the actual talent ID for the Pride. Wish her the best. She's a tremendous player. I have some pictures here too that I was able to that I got from her Instagram. That she, look at that one-handed save, man. Look at that right there. So phenomenal. So the Pride making silent moves for the future right there with the tryouts, for the Pride talent pool, youth Pride squad, and also with all these loans happening, hopefully opening up a window for, I don't know, a new signing. Knowing the front office, they're not going to stay still. I think they're going to stay looking to see where they could improve. So
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a halfway point. It's obviously the significance of contracts of what we have. A lot of them have July 1st is like an ending changing point for contracts, especially across Europe as well. So a lot of clubs are moving and making things happen, and things are changing. And I think that's the same for us. I don't know what we've got planned, but I think we've realized that we got to do something to shake up the squad a little bit to get maybe some new legs in. Also, there's the returning legs potentially that we talked about. You know, the likelihood of eventually Luana and Simone Charlie and others coming back into the squad. But I would like to perhaps see a few more, new faces around that can contribute right away. I think if we're going to bring anyone, Luis, it needs to be someone that can make is a starter and is
An
an
immediate
immediate impact.
impact.
Yeah, like we don't need any more development players. We need somebody we can put on the wing, I think most likely, who can be an impact straight away and immediately start contributing goals and assists.
Yeah, tremendous. I think we need that. I mean, we need somebody from on the right side. Unfortunately, we do have Chilufya, we do have Ali Watt, but we need that person that's gonna help Banda not to be just you know completely being chased by all these defenders all over the league. Somebody that gives Banda peace of mind that there's going to be other goal contributors in the attacking third. And I think that's what we need. A nine that's going to be able to ease that off, or a winger. But yeah,
Yes, indeed. Alrighty. Enough speculation about summer signings. Let's talk about summer break. This was announced today by the club. Orlando Pride has announced a month-long summer break. It's called summer break in inverted commas. Fan events across Central Florida. So
okay.
this, Luis, is essentially a series of events that's going on across the summer. Uh, I feel mainly because there is a lack of games. This has been created in order to kind of fill the time for fans to then be able to interact with the club, come to events. Like as much as I support all of these things happening, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is for any other reason, in my opinion, than the fact that we have a month of nothing happening. So they've created a month of events. Now this is for a new thing that is apparently going to be, I don't know if it's an annual thing, but this is the first one they're saying of this summer break that we're going to be having each year, in which has been included. There's events like Thursday on July 10th, there's a Pints with Pride, which is something we've seen before. This one's a hideaway with Julie and Zara.
We should go.
And then there's a fantasy camp. So if you've got kids, there's a lot of great stuff here. There's the Orlando Pride Youth Fantasy Camp that's going to be going on out at Osceola Heritage Park at the stadium there where OCB play
Is it
and
only
Orlando
one
Pride
day, or
train. This is only, I believe, on July 18th from 8:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. A soccer clinic for 5 to 18-year-olds. So, Luis, maybe that's something you and your daughter might be perfect for you guys. There's a
yeah?
summer splash, which is, from what I could tell, going to the water park. So this is at Lake
Where?
Nona Adventure Park. And
Oh,
there's a DJ and an amphitheater, a foam party.
are you the DJ, Kevin?
I am not the DJ. I will not be going to the Summer Splash.
DJ
There's also
Zara.
the canal cleanup. This one I might go to. Sounds kind of cool. You can go out to Brevard County and help clean up the canals on a kayak, I guess. It was
No,
a
I'm
near a
not going
kayak
in.
launch.
I'm
I don't
not
think you're
going in
on
a
a
kayak,
kayak.
man.
And that one
Hell no.
gets you a complimentary ticket to a Pride home game.
What if there's a gator there?
There's another
I'm,
happy
I'm
hour for
screwed.
Pride season ticket members. This one is going to be at the Ivanhoe Lager House on this is Tuesday, July 8th, apparently. So that's tomorrow. You can go to a happy hour. That doesn't say which players are going to be there or what's happening at that, but
Larroquette.
there's going to be raffles and photo opportunities. There's also a kids clinic, another one. This is July 17th through 18th, 8 to 12 in the morning. This is going to be at Enter & Co Stadium.
Okay.
Then moving on from that, we've got Florida night. So this is actually the game we have next on August 3rd. So we've now hit the games, which are be returning. So this Florida night will be our next home game against Utah Royals. I don't know what Florida night means. I mean, I'll have to look into that one and get back to you. There's a Banda hat trick
Oh,
bobblehead
I need the
package.
bobblehead.
So for the
Come on,
game
guys.
on
Pride.
Friday, August 29th, Orlando Pride versus Gotham, apparently you can get a free Barbra Banda bobblehead if you I guess buy this hat trick pack. Yeah,
Oh,
which is I guess tickets. I'm not sure. There's a teddy bear toss night, something that I have not seen since I've been to a Solar Bears game. And this is going to be happening Saturday, September 13th. So
what
a
do you
while
do?
away
You just throw a teddy
against
bear?
Bay FC. Yeah. Teddy bear toss is, I can't believe you've never seen this, Louise. Essentially they, I mean, how it works at the Amway is they just put these giant buckets out on the ice and everybody like tries to throws their teddy bear in there. Right. And it's for charity. You bring your
Oh,
own
okay.
teddy, or you can buy a teddy and throw that, or
Oh,
whatever you want to do. It's a lot of fun. The kids love it. So I think it's a cool thing that they're bringing over to Orlando Pride game. We've never done it in the stadium. I don't think. I can't remember. Uh, so yeah, teddy bear toss night. Then there's a beer fest night. So this is Saturday, August 9th. The
ooh.
game you can add on
Can the press go and cover that?
in which they're going to have, I guess, part of the stadium closed off where they've got breweries like Ravenous Pig, Tactical Brewing.
Look at that strongbow.
So this one kind of speaks to me as a beer.
Speaks to me too.
This could be fun if you want to go to that game. Add on a beer sampling beforehand. That is everything we have
And then
announced.
the I-4 Derby. No, just kidding.
So this is a lot of things that they kind of bundled together, and I've labeled the summer break. I will read you the line here from Pedro, the chief marketing officer. He's saying, "We're thrilled to launch this summer's first ever summer break series, provide our fans with additional ways to stay connected to each other during the club during this mid-season pause." From soccer clinics to theme park adventures to happy hours to exclusive season ticket member events, there's truly something for everybody to enjoy during this month-long celebration. I
So,
look, I'd rather have some games like some. I think I'd rather
celebrate.
have some. Like we talked about, Louise, I'd love to have seen some games against some interesting opponents, maybe across, the sea, maybe Mexican teams, whatever. Last year we had the Summer Cup, which was okay. At least it was something. At least there was games. I'm I'm
I
not
know.
feeling the summer break, I gotta say. I don't like to be too critical of what they do marketing wise at the club because I've been there, I've done that job, I know what it's like, but I'm struggling to see how this replaces 6 months of soccer. I mean, 6 weeks of soccer. You know what I mean? I feel like it's too much time with us not having a game, and these are nice, but it's for me not the same as being able to go watch the Pride
Why
regularly.
not? Since we're having the summer nights of summer break, they can come to the show. I mean, they're in the summer break. You know,
I mean, I think it's good that the players are having a break.
yeah,
Like if they're
we could
they're,
invite them over.
physically they're going to be more rested than ever. This is
Yeah,
longer break than they have in the off season, I feel like. So
yeah,
I hope they are playing some behind the scenes games because I don't want to think that we've gone 6 weeks
like pickup
having played
games.
no full 90-minute, real workout games. Um but yeah, I think for the fans, yes, there's a lot of nice events here, and it's great to interact with the players and go to these things. But for me, I'd rather see us play some friendlies and see some more games during this time. Whether that's with a bunch of reserve players, I'm fine with that. I don't care. You don't have to put Barbara Banda and Marta out there for me to come out and enjoy us, playing hell, let's play one of these North Canadian Super League teams, right? Like that's the kind of thing
It's
that
from Montreal. What's it
right.
called?
Like
Montreal Roses.
I think there's a lot of opportunity here with this break, and I'm disappointed.
Let's read some comments real quick. It says, I will attend the pool party thing. Only my friends go, and only if we pregame it. There you go. That's
That's a different
that's
kind of pool party,
that's
I
the
think.
way I see it. Yeah. I will also pregame the canal cleanup. Look, as opposed to all the non-Florida nights, as opposed to all the
Uh,
non-beer nights.
Pre-gaming the cleanup that's the wildest.
You
That
imagine?
that's if you turned up like three beers
You're
deep
gonna
at 8 a.m.,
shotgun.
I would be like, what?
You're gonna shotgun four Miller High Lifes before
You
going
just
there.
clean up your own beer cans and leave.
Bring your own basket and stuff. Wow.
I do think that is a cool event though. Like I think stuff like that, community stuff, I
I'm just
enjoy.
afraid of the gators and the
Yeah, I
snakes,
mean,
man.
there is a range of things for people like of all ages, but yeah, I'm not bowled over with excitement.
Well, I love that picture of Valley right there. She looks really happy going to the
Yeah, it's
summer
a
break.
great picture of Allie on her summer break.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's gonna be great events. Wish also we would have played a friendly. I think we're missing. Hopefully, it's announced soon if there is a friendly. I think there should be at least one or two. I mean, I would hate them
I
not
don't
to
think
have.
there is, man. I think this is it.
This
I
is
think
it.
that's why they announced this is because they know we've been waiting for something,
Is it
and
maybe
this is
because
what we're
last
getting.
year they didn't get a break?
I know the players are tired. I think it was a lot last year. I get that. I just think we could have had 3 or 4 weeks off and then come back for a couple weeks of games, or I think 6 weeks is
It's too much.
too much in my opinion.
All right.
Not
So
for the players. I'm sure they love 6 weeks, but for the fans, I think
I would love the
six
beer
weeks is
fest.
too much of a pause mid-season.
If the press can go to the beer fest would be great.
Luis, let's get you a ticket to the beer. Maybe you shouldn't. Maybe you should take the game off from writing, but
Yeah,
let's get you a ticket.
yeah. Let's go. Let's go to the wall and stuff. Woo!
Yes, indeed. Alrighty, let's talk about international pride players. Um, first game to talk about is the U.S. versus Canada, 3-0, but no appearance from Sam's. Obviously, Carey got sent home with injury before. We played a great game, went back to the back four, and I think that's really a lot of the reason why Emily, when it's a back four, it seems like Emma prefers Germa and Sonnet, and Emily is more preferred when they like the back three, and she's the right-sided center back of the back three.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're trying to give other players also a chance to shine. I don't know if they
I
are
mean, Germa and
given.
Sonnet don't need to shine for sure,
Yeah, not only that, but
but they
like
are very good.
they're putting Rose Lavelle in and stuff like that. I mean, she did have a good game. They started with the monikers. They're calling Lynn Villanolo Captain Lynn. Like, come on, man. Like Captain America. Like,
This was like her first game she captained
yeah,
there.
it's like, come on, Captain Lynn, my butt. Come on. And then, Lily Real. I'm happy about Sam Mesa. I think Sam Mesa is a
Yeah, what
tremendous
a
player.
story that is.
Yeah, Jordan Bug as well. So she's trying to kind of get the under 23 pipeline going, so I can respect that 100%. Claire Hutton also, first senior gig with the US. So it's great. It's great to see also Emma Hayes saying that she's never been happier in the US women's national team and is unlikely for her to go back into club coaching. I don't know
Wow.
who's. I don't know
She's
who
reached the top of the game now, man. I mean, like, who's gonna knock her off unless she does a horrible job, I feel like she's gonna be the women's coach for
for a
20,
while.
30 years, you know?
Yeah,
I
hopefully
feel when she's ready to move on, which she
she
might
gives
never be, who knows?
Emily Sam some minutes, man. Come on.
We hope so, but I do like the rotation. I don't want to be just an Orlando Pride homer. I think everything Emma's been doing with the national team is like a breath of fresh air, and I think stuff that should have been done a long time ago, giving more opportunities to more players and not keeping it so tight in just a core group of players, right? Like they did for so many years, and that's how you ended up in that situation where we didn't have the next generation, and now Emma's just giving out opportunities to everybody who gets who deserves it and gets a shot to see whether they are good enough.
Do you feel Hayes is building a gold print for the 2027 Women's World Cup?
I think she's giving out, I think sort of like we were talking about with the men's team and
Because that's what she did
Poch.
with Chelsea. She did a gold print
Yeah, I
there.
mean, she's giving out minutes to players to see in the future who can play where and not just be so limited into 25 players, but let's look at the top 50 players and say who's going to be in and who's going to be out. And the more competition you create, the better it is, right? If we've got 4 or 5 right backs who are all capable of playing at national team and have played 4 or 5 games at national team level and are all competing, that's healthier than just having one or two. I think she just knows that with these friendlies, she can experiment and try things and give opportunities. And realistically, it doesn't actually matter. And then when the tournaments come along, she's got a wider range of players she can look at. And if injuries happen, she's got a wider range of players. Like we've been playing for a good while now without triple espresso, and there's no problem there, right? So in other eras of U.S. Women's national team, I think it would have been like, oh, we don't have our core players. How can we perform? But it's really just the next woman up mentality. And there's so much talent for USA that you can just go and find more talent.
Yeah, for sure. And again, she's done this with Chelsea, and you kind of started to see it. Now I know that Sam's not getting a lot of minutes, but I mean, she's a tremendous talent, and she's going to give the chance to the young talent. I mean, the whole point is we need to stray away from the old guard, and we're bringing in a new guard. And if we want to compete in the women's game, especially in the World Cup, which is top level, we're going to be facing Australia, top team, Sweden, top team, Norway, top team, Canada, top team. So, I mean, we need to truly start getting this gold print that they're saying. Now, I do like the fact that, at least in this game against Canada, the women's team improved on the set piece play, which they haven't really had a lot of success with in previous matches. And Germa obviously play. It's a big progress she's done, especially on that. I feel like so. So yeah, it'd be good for the women's team. Now, do you feel that we're gonna get pretty far? I have high expectations for the women's team in the World Cup.
Oh yeah. No, I mean we're number one for a reason. I think I'm enjoying watching some of the Euros and just seeing, how good the likes of Germany and France and England and Spain all are. But I think all of them are second fiddle to USA, and really the World Cup becomes USA versus everybody else. It always kind of seems like that, just because how good we have been and how strong we are. So, with the best coach in the world, I mean, she already won the Olympics just a few months into her tenure. With all this build up in time, when the World Cup comes, I think we'll be extremely prepared. Almost, I think like have too many good options to pick from. You know what I mean? I think really all this work Emma's doing means that when she does go to pick it, she's going to be spoiled for choice on who she takes.
Yeah. No, the the Pride players are coming in for international duty, and I'll command people to watch. It's the women's Copa America, in which we have Marta and Angelina playing from Pride. They're playing Venezuela on July 13th. So this weekend at 7 o'clock it starts.
Yep.
So it's going to be played. This Copa America is going to be played in Ecuador. It's going to be played in Quito, which is altitude. I do want to say so. If the Pride players are listening, Angelina and Marta probably on the way there right now. It's altitude. You're going to be playing in the altitude, and in the altitude, knowing and watching how the local team there in Ecuador plays shots from distance. Angelina, you can shoot from distance. You know, the ball travels faster there, especially in altitude, especially from shots from distance. So it's a beautiful stadium where they're going to be playing natural grass. And so the two top teams from each group advance to the knockout stage.
And
And
Brazil is, I'm sure, like nailed on favorite, right, for this tournament.
110%.
Yeah, I mean Argentina probably the only other team that have a chance. Maybe Colombia, but
I'm crossing for Peru. Let's see.
eh, but honestly, Brazil or
Yeah, Brazil and Colombia probably are the top
Colombia,
two right
yeah, would
now.
be the
Yeah,
other one. I feel that are close, but I don't think they're as good as Brazil. So it's Brazil's tournament to lose. I really want to see Angelina take a starring role,
me
bring that
too.
confidence back here,
Me too.
because
100%.
when she cooks for, you know,
Brazil.
Brazil, she looks awesome, and then I want to see that same play. I want to see her lead the team like she does for Brazil, lead us the same way, and
100%.
I think there is opportunity for her to do that. She just needs to come and, make that ownership. I think in some ways is the changing of the guard, and a lot of I think passing on Marta's responsibility should be going to Angelina. So I'm looking to her to really step up and produce. So this is a great opportunity to get some confidence in a competition she knows, for a team she plays with all the time, and then bring that back here for Orlando Pride, and hopefully continue. They did it last summer. I know she came back cooking last summer after the Olympics. So excited to see that. The other one that's happening at this moment, the Euros. Like I said, England are in the Euros. Anna is not playing; she is on the bench. Hannah Hampton is playing. England lost their first opening game 2-1 to France. Really disappointing, I gotta say. That was okay at times, but really France looked like the better side. So England now really got to turn it around and produce in the second game. They're in a tough group with the Netherlands and Wales as well. So, uh, you know, it's time for them to turn it on and show why they are rated as one of the best teams in Europe. But Anna, I don't think we'll be seeing the field during this competition, but she is there with her squad in the Euros, regardless. The other players that are out on international duty, well, we had Zara Savashi, who was out with Canada, who was also in that USA Canada game, also on the bench. There's a nice picture of her and Emily kind of saying hi to each other as that game went out, both from the bench. The other players that are in international games at the moment and played on Saturday is Zambia. So Grace and Prisca and Barbara, of course, playing versus Morocco on Saturday. And I have the goal here, Luis,
All right,
as
let's.
Barbara scored. So I'm gonna play the sound. I don't know if that's gonna help or
Okay.
not. Um, but here's Barbara for Zambia.
What a run this is from Barbra Banda, strike a goal
Oh,
as well. Oh, she's only played in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations for a minute and she has scored a goal. We talk about Banda.
I'm sorry. This is last. I found the wrong highlights. This is last year's highlights. I thought I'd done it well. No, forget me. Come back to me, Luis.
yeah, that's cool. It's cool. Well, I wanted to show. In the meantime, he looks for the highlights. Wanted to show the fixture for Copa America coming up right here. Some of the matches coming up. Again, there's a lot of websites that may have this. I don't know if it's going to be broadcasted anywhere specifically. I'm not aware. I'll probably be looking at it on my IPTV, be honest with you. But again, we're going to follow Brazil. I want to know when they face Peru, because that's going to be a murder. I don't see it. I don't think they face Peru. They face Colombia right here. So it's going to be a competitive. I mean, I think Venezuela, it's a good team. I think Colombia, definitely. I think it's going to be between Colombia and Brazil. It's just my opinion. I think Argentina may come close, but they don't have as good of talent as Brazil or Colombia. So this is a tournament that both Marta and Angelina could definitely do really good and hopefully get back to the Pride motivated. There you go. You got it now?
I found the right one. I've also had where it's just saying they had it labeled wrong. Yeah, I thought I was going crazy. They just, I don't know. The people who put up highlights put 2024, so it was the right goal.
Oh, it was the right goal?
But I found a better quality. So here it is again. Barbra scoring this first goal against Morocco.
On this side, they've already had the experience of 3 years ago. Is it going to be too much, or is it going to propel them to victory, do you think? You can already see the power of the Zambian striker. What a run this is from Barbra Banda. Striker goal as well. Oh, she's only played
it's
in
terrible.
the Women's Africa Cup of Nations.
Terrible goalkeeping for Morocco, but great shot from Barbra.
Yeah, for
a minute, and she has scored a goal. We talk about Banda breaking records. She has done it again. Well, they didn't take kick off the Copper Queens, and they already lead. What a start for Zambia. And what a moment for Barbra Banda. She has waited and waited for this moment. And
yeah.
When it came, she had one idea, charge a goal. And Mishi may look back and think she may have done better.
So Prisca was playing. She's
Prisca and Grace, yeah.
Grace is playing too?
I saw her out there.
Oh, all right. I like that. Those are good moves, John.
We'll see. We'll see.
We get some minutes,
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. We wanna say she got some minutes. I mean, that's good. I think for Grace, she hasn't really played much. I'm just gonna show you the second goal here. Here we go.
Banda finding Kundananji, and the woman who was once the world's most expensive women's footballer ever made that look incredibly easy. And Zambia, with their second strike on goal, have their second goal, and they lead it.
Banda to Kundananji goal.
That's Kundananji, always just willing to
what a pass.
race through that offside line. She runs perfectly off the shoulder.
Hey, maybe Kundananji may not want to.
I mean, I don't think so. That's a lot of money. I just like what a great ball by Barbra here. I mean,
tremendous.
She doesn't always find those.
Unfortunately, Morocco's not at the level, unfortunately, too. So.
But also, that doesn't happen for us there, where she's got a player ahead of her. Barbra's always the player furthest forward, and there she's getting forward, but then Kundananji's so fast that she can get ahead of her, and she gets the ball in. So, yeah.
So are you asking for Banda to play more as a mid?
No, I'm just saying that we need to be able to make runs beyond Barbra.
Right.
We don't ever do that. She's always the leading, tip of the spear, right?
I agree with you.
And I think there just shows that she can hold up and play balls, but we need to make those runs beyond her.
It says, no, you're right. The hashtag is just 2024 of all sad words. I don't know why. We can get away with the same kinds of salary cap shenanigans that certain more popular clubs can. I think we can, but
we're not Inter Pride, right?
Inter Pride. That's right. It's a beautiful stadium, the one that they played, Rabat in Morocco, the Olympic Stadium. Natural grass. 31% possession. Zambia had And then Morocco dominated possessions, but Zambia was the one who got the draw in the end. So it was a thrilling game. So
Yes.
good for Zambia.
So the African Cup of Nations continues for them. They play Senegal, which will be a big game on Wednesday at noon, and then on Saturday they play again at noon against the DR Congo. So yes, we hope they come out of their group top, but a draw in the first game isn't the best result. I think they would have hoped to win.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
But great to see, Barbara getting a goal and assist. Maybe we'll see more from Grace and Prisca as the tournament goes on. They get more opportunities and rotated. They're going to have to play, kind of similar to really what's happening for the Euros and for Copa America and also African Cup of Nations. They're playing Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 games in 10 days. Usually that means squad rotation. So hopefully we're going to see some minutes for all of our players that are away with their clubs. I mean, with their nations.
Yeah, for sure. And wish them the best on their squads within their national teams. And yeah, hopefully that motivates them to come back and rock it with the pride, because that's what we need right now, the second half of the season.
Yes, indeed. So we are about a month away from our next game against Utah. And so still summer break is here, Luis. Summer break.
So beer fest.
Yes, indeed. You got anything else you want to bring up on today's pod, or anybody in the chat got any questions for us? We will happily answer those.
Yeah, I will definitely answer them. I have nothing. I do want to thank everybody that has joined us today. About 30 people live. Make sure that if you're interested in city content, we also have the city pod that we just had a few minutes ago. You can watch it. But no, other than that, I think we're good, John. I don't know if you want to add anything else.
I think just, for me,
we should get some interviews.
The big question right now is, how do I get one of these Barbra bobbleheads
Yeah, I need
without
one.
having to buy 3, match tickets?
Yeah.
Because I got a Marta bobblehead. I need a Barbra
I
bobblehead.
want a Banda bobblehead, man.
Yeah, this thing is cool. I don't want to have to buy 3 tickets. I
I
just
want
want
to
to
put it
buy the
right here
bobblehead.
in my office.
I've already got enough tickets. I need a bobblehead.
You should
So
do Barbra Banda posters too.
yes, I mean, she's awesome. I've also had words saying I'm trying to organize anyone who wants to go to Panama or Mexico for the CONCACAF games.
Oh,
Hit me up on Discord. So yeah, I think I'm excited about the prospect of
who we're facing? Pachuca?
this year, but in the future, I'd love a Pride away trip to like Panama. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that'd be
Or
cool.
Mexico or somewhere on a Pride away game. I mean, CONCACAF away games are not that it's CONCACAF, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but
Going
they're
to
gonna be
Central America
also on
for
on
an away
pitch.
trip, lots of fun.
Yeah, there's gonna be some pitches that are not gonna be up to par too. So also, I don't know what it is, but team that goes to Mexico, teams that come back with food poisoning. It already happened in the CONCACAF Champions League for Vancouver Whitecaps when they played the final
Yep.
against Cruz Azul. They all were sick. So those are a couple of things that I think the Pride is gonna have to bring their own food. I know it sounds kind of it sounds kind of crazy, but they're gonna have to get their own catering. You know.
It does sound crazy, but I don't disagree. And I would be like, don't trust stuff that's not,
I agree 100%. You imagine, we lose like our best players in this game. Man, that'll piss me off. Over food poisoning. I'm like, I told you guys, come on, man. Man. But anyways, no, it's gonna be it's gonna be the first time that the Pride faces international competition. So it is pretty important for us to definitely do a great great momentum at least in this tournament.
Yep,
It's
and that first game will be Tuesday, September 2nd. We'll be playing our first CONCACAF Champions Cup game against Alajuelense.
Alajuelense,
Come on, I tried, Luis. Alajuelense.
Alajuelense. You
I
know,
was close. I
they're
was
from Costa
close.
Rica. Costa Rica.
Yes. So that's going to be exciting, but yeah, that's not 2 months away.
I have
Well,
a
3 months
feeling.
away.
I have a feeling that we should definitely beat that team pretty easy. I think the only one that can give us a run for their money is Club America. Then yeah, so the rest of them, I don't know. I feel a little confident there. Chorrillo FC, that's right. It'd be cool to
Yes,
go. To
indeed.
be honest with you, yeah, it'd be cool to
But
go.
exciting to be in, the Champions League or Champions Cup always. And as we get closer to that, I think we're definitely going to try and do some specialty, content around the Champions Cup as well. So
Yeah, it'd be cool
down for that.
to maybe it'd be cool to talk to. I don't know if they speak English, but it'd be cool to have maybe somebody from Club America, somebody from Chorrillo.
Definitely.
Maybe
I
some
think
players. I
even if
know.
you talk to them in Spanish, Luis, then we put it up
Yeah,
like that. That's cool.
I could
We
translate.
can put it up as an interview with them and then put some subtitles. So
Or we could put okay, we could dub you, John.
yeah, I got some ideas for what we're gonna do for Champions League and working with some other people, some other content creators out there in the world. I know we'll be covering it as well. So watch this space.
Yeah, the weekday games are going to be rough. Yeah, I agree. I probably won't be able to attend weekday games. It's gonna suck, but it's completely true. But anyways, anything else you want to add, John, before we head out?
No, I want to say thank you to everybody who listened this week. We appreciate you all. Thank you to Volside Words for being here in the
Yeah,
comments as always. You're awesome. If you are listening, please go ahead and drop us a 5-star 5-star rating if you think we're worth that on Spotify. We appreciate it. It really helps with the algorithm. Find more people find the podcast that way. Also, you can drop us a review on Apple Podcasts. You can also find us on social media at LPO_podcast on X, on Instagram, and Louder Proud Orlando on Facebook. And of course, we're on YouTube. If you're not subscribed there on YouTube, go ahead, subscribe, drop a like, leave us a comment. We will always reply or get back to you or read it out on the next show whenever you interact with us. And we appreciate all of you for listening every week. So thank you.
well, I wanted to thank you guys for your support as well, and keep supporting us. Keep dropping your likes and checking out our content. We do it with a lot of love. There's a lot of cool things that are happening for the pod in the upcoming months. So we're excited to do that. And nothing. Thank you for your support and vamos pride.
Vamos, Brian.
Have a good one, guys.